Collections conservator at the University of Calgary, and he is interested in preserving and interpreting historic collections. Please welcome David.
I encourage you to look at the images while I speak. Let's begin. This is a postcard view from Vermont in 1911. Picture postcards excited and captured the imaginations of millions of people 100 years ago and started a social media revolution, the results of which we're still seeing today. Postcards were part of a modern media explosion, the emails and iPhones of 1909. This patriotic view card from my hometown shows a number of recognizable symbols, including the maple leaf. To me, the maple is a part of our living history. Similar to how Canada and the US share vast maple forests out east, we also shared the postcard collecting craze of the early 20th century. Cheaper postal rates and faster mail service meant people could send and text and image messages together very fast, easily, and cheaply. Sound familiar? Postcards were part of an analog pre-internet, complete with their own memes like the lolcat shown here. These are fascinating, multi-dimensional objects with many aspects. In addition to the text message on the front, the back of the card here also shows other ways postcards carried information, including the dated postage stamp cancellation. Much information accompanies the image, similar to how our computer code follows electronic communications now. Picture postcards often depicted customs and rituals of the day. In this playful scene, a young woman at a Halloween party throws an apple peel over her shoulder and onto the floor. If the peel forms a letter, it is believed to be the first letter of the name of the man she will marry. Postcard images are loaded with cultural messaging. Postcards provided a rich mix of imagery and symbolism and were very good at reflecting the values and growing trends of the day. This early feminist image inverts a common pickup line used by men at the time. The visual language is easy to read. Newly empowered women were no longer men's play toys. This World War II era checkbox uses the same sort of streamlined form communication that we now see with text messaging. These cards are closer to what we know as the tourist postcard today, and came in other themes as well. Apparently, being busy helped people feel important in the 1940s too. This futuristic scene of New York City skyscrapers is from about 1905. Before World War I, postcards were printed in Germany using a lithography process which allowed publishers to produce thousands of doctored images very cheaply. This contributed hugely to the profession of graphic design as we know it today. This is Calgary around 1910. Three basic groups are concerned with postcard history: collectors, researchers, and academics. Researchers use them to observe changes to cities over time. This is the postcard as a visual historic record. The buildings here were completely destroyed to make way for the Calgary Stampede grounds. This Calgary view from the Grain Exchange building is what's known as a real photo postcard. Unlike lithograph cards, photo postcards are actually silver gelatin prints with much greater image detail. Real photo postcards aren't as numerous as the lithographs and more desirable to collectors for their unique qualities. This is an early selfie of a postcard photographer's carnival tent. In 1903, Kodak released the 3A postcard camera. This fairly cheap camera allowed people to make their own photo postcards by simply printing their negatives onto blanks. Camera sales and photo card production exploded. Studio portraits became less formal as postcard photographers created playful backdrops for their sitters, like the famous paper moon set that we see here. Postcard portraits became more representative of society as a whole, as this photo of two gay American sailors on shore leave in Florida demonstrates. This is a Saskatchewan hotel fire in 1915. Vernacular, or folk photography, grew as more people had cameras on hand to record local events. Documentary disaster photos are common. The dramatic tension of this photo card is heightened by one of the townsfolk looking out of the past and directly at the viewer. This strange photo montage of babies in a bucket shows the studio techniques used to make creative photo postcards. Many postcard images have a subtext, and here the messaging includes references to fertility and sexuality. These analog, photoshopped fertility cards are often referred to as nature's bounty. This vernacular postcard of a car and water is both documentary and artistic. The surreal image of only part of the car showing on the reflective surface of the water depicts the serene aftermath of a violent car crash. Good photo postcards have a haunting quality and tend to ask more questions than they answer. This is a rare multiple exposure photo card. At least 3 exposures are superimposed to produce a dazzling image which pushes the viewer's eye all over it. The image is relentless. The movement is relentless as characters both look toward the camera and walk away from us. This artistic card is too well composed to be a developing room accident. Postcard photographers needed great skill to capture night scenes, and long exposures were often used. This Ontario mining town view shows a masterful light and dark tonal range. The town's gold mines can be seen on the dusky horizon, and the neon theater sign on the main street speaks of evening entertainment. This night photo card of an Iowa amusement park is more like a video clip than a snapshot, with the long exposure showing the motion of a car backing into a parking spot in the image center. Night scenes have a deeper feeling tone and are more moody and atmospheric than most photo cards. I love these. Are old postcards relevant now? I invite you to look at the expressions on the faces of these Native girls at this Manitoba residential school. Is that finished? History is alive and we bring it forward with us. Postcards somehow manage to be both old and new at the same time. Every age is modern for those who live in it. The postcard craze was the product of an era seeing more disruptive social and technological changes than we are now. Postcards are fun to collect and research, and I strongly encourage you to explore the public postcard collections at the Glenbow Museum, the Calgary Public Library, and the University of Calgary. Thank you.